Hi everybody, welcome back. I wanted today to do a little bit of a video regarding stress at work. So this video is all about how to switch off from work. It can be quite stressful the last year, especially with the pandemic that's happened. And obviously a lot, but not all, people who have been working in a completely different way. And I think that from my own personal point of view, the way you switch off from work has totally changed. So, for example, in the past, you would go into the office, you would go in for 9 o'clock-ish and you leave at 5 o'clock-ish, obviously, depending on how busy you are. But then essentially you would clock out. Sometimes you would actually literally clock out and have a swipe card. With working from home, especially if you work in an office previously, there is no clocking out system. And quite frankly, your work is your home and your home is your work. And it's quite difficult to differentiate between the two. So one of the first things I would talk about is emails. If you are based in the office, emails can be the bane of your life, simply because emails often equal work and more work and more work, and often as you know, crap comes downwards and it ends up on your desk. And if you've got no one to delegate it down to yourself, or someone isn't able to do the job, you have to do it yourself. And it's just one little email, one little sentence can take up a whole day of your work. So what I would suggest you do is, with your emails, is give yourself a time frame as to when you are on your emails, even in work. So give yourself an hour where you're not on your emails. Literally put it in your calendar that you are busy. Switch your emails off and concentrate on the work in hand. Then give yourself an email hour and you can go through your emails and reply and action, and then switch them off again. It works better than you think. When you are finished work, in inverted commas, switch your emails off, switch your phone off. Treat your phone as your computer. Don't keep checking in on your emails. You wouldn't have done that in the past. If you were working in the office, you wouldn't just pop into work for 10 minutes to check your emails. So why would you do it on your phone? You have to be disciplined. Switch your emails off. It can wait. Sure, if it's not, if it's an emergency, someone will ring you. But if you are on emails a lot and they do equal a lot of work and a lot of stress, then switch your emails off. Be disciplined. Once you finish work, try not to go back into work mode. You won't be thanked for it, let's face it, and you won't remember it. It won't be something you look back when you're old and grey and go, oh, remember that email I did? No one cares. Just be disciplined with it. Second thing I would look at is actually, if you've had a stressful day, to journal. If you can't talk to somebody, or which is for the case for a lot of people, journaling is a really good way of releasing a lot of emotion and pent up frustration. I know it's worked for me, and it is difficult at first to journal because you're kind of thinking, well, I can't be bothered. It sounds like work, but it is really good. You need a little book, a little A5 book, and a pen and some time, and journal what your thoughts and feelings are. You'll often find that when you see it written down, you are more objective about things, and you look back at it and go, actually, the cold light of day, that doesn't sound as bad as it thought it was in my head. Often you ruminate things in your head and it comes out and sounds worse than actually what it is. So by getting it out of your head and onto some paper, if you can't talk to somebody, you find yourself being a lot more objective about these things, and actually your emotion will be released onto the piece of paper. It may just be a rant on a piece of paper, but then I bet you when you read it the next day, you'll look back at it and think, that was a bit silly. Glad I got that out of my system, because the last thing you want to do is say something out of frustration or emotion and it ends up being something that you regret. So talking, being objective. When you're in work, taking breaks is obviously very good. It sounds a bit of an obvious one, but stepping away from your laptop if you're working home, going for a walk. One tip that I think has worked for various people is, if you are working at home, rather than going from your home, i.e. kitchen or your living room, to your bedroom where you work and open your laptop, go around the block. Pretend it is your commute to work. you're not going to be in the car, stuck in the car for an hour, but perhaps walk around the block and then come back in. It actually feels like you've started work, you're coming into work, as opposed to going from one room to the next. It's a little thing that psychologically helps you then switch on to work. And when you're finished, if you want to go for a walk, you don't have to if it's raining, but if you want to go for a walk, it helps switch off from work. It just gives you that sort of gap in your day where you're not in at home, you're actually outside in work, outside at home, and it maybe help you switch on and switch off as well. It also helps you take a breath, as does exercise. It sounds a bit obvious and cliche, but doing some exercise will help you release a lot of the frustrations that you have. You don't have to necessarily go to the gym or go for a run, going for a walk, going for a cycle, doing some yoga, doing some stretching. Just breathing exercises will help as well. Wim Hof is someone who's quite famous with his breathing exercises. You can actually see a lot of his stuff on YouTube. It's pretty straightforward stuff, basically. Lots of breaths for 30 seconds, and then you breathe out, hold it for as long as you can without breathing back in, and then once you're finished, you can't hold it anymore, breathe back in, hold your breath for 15 seconds, let go, and then start the cycle again. Helps to get oxygen into your body, which helps your bloodstream go more alkali, which helps your body be a little more healthy. Wim Hof is someone to check out. He's really good. One thing I would also say, especially if you ruminate a lot in your head about some boss or person you work with who's doing your head in, is maybe try to think of it from their perspective. It's quite difficult to do. You get very attached to your own problems. You get very emotional. You think that you're the victim. Quite often you are, but quite often you're not. Think of it from the point of view of somebody else who might often be in a similar position where their boss has told them to do something, which is them calling to you. You don't know what pressures other people are under. You don't know their backstory. So if someone is annoying you, just try an exercise where you are thinking about it from someone else's opinion, someone else's point of view. You may actually find you show a little bit of empathy and sympathy to that situation, and it may help you be a little less emotional to it. Don't forget, your energy is your energy, so decide how you're going to spend it. Spending it emotionally invested into a problem or into a work day email that's just triggered you. Maybe it's time for you to look inwardly about why that's triggered you. Is it authority that you don't like? Is it the fact that someone's telling you what to do? Or have you got a genuine case? So think of it from someone else's point of view may help you be a bit more objective about this. And let's face it, end of the day, it's just a job. It pays the bills. If you don't like it, get another job. It sounds a bit obvious and harsh, but it is just a job. You are just a payroll number, whether you like it or not. And if you left next week, they'd replace you within a month. And that's not to say don't care. That's not to say not do your best, because it's easy to do so. Turn up, but let go of that job. If you can, appreciate for some people being a doctor or an A&E nurse or something like that, it's a bit more difficult. But for the majority of us who aren't, it's just a job and you are just a payroll number, as harsh as that is. So try and think of doing your best, but when you're not in work, let go of it. And remember that it's just part of your life and not your life. They're just my opinions. I hope they helped. If they did, please let me know. Like, comment, subscribe and share. And have a good day, everyone. Take care. Bye-bye.